What is up, guys? Welcome back to Call Me Old Fashioned, where we talk everything bourbon, whiskey, and of course, old fashions. We're moving into that late night pour edition of the stream. So let's go ahead and kick back, relax, and let's go ahead. Oh, I went way too wide on that, huh? There we go. Now it's fixed. Welcome to the stream. Let's get to sipping on some bourbon, a little whiskey. Cheers, boys. In the comments, let me know what you're drinking on tonight. Right now, we're still going on this still awesome Tanger, however you want to pronounce it. Delicioso. Right? There we go. Tater Dom in the chat says, cheers, call me old fashioned, and everyone. Tater Dom, welcome to the stream, baby. Happy Friday. Hopefully your work week went well. And now you're able to kick back, have a drink. I will say for this bottle, it just keeps getting better. The first pour was great, don't get me wrong. Second pour was even better. Third pour we're just kind of cruising, so I think we may slow down on this one a little bit. Switch to something else maybe, but the fuck, it's good. Yeah, for a 5-year age, still awesome. I mean, let's do this. Let's grab the red corn and the cask strength. Bring that over yonder. I do need to get another cask strength, but obviously, if you don't know, I kind of repeated it in the last stream, but the Still Austin Tanager is made with 3 different types of corn: red corn, blue corn, light corn. Mainly, I think it's 60% blue corn, which also means that I need to go get one of the blue corn versions of the bottle, right? Because we have the red corn, which is great. It's also a 5-year age, 100 proof bottle. And I hear a lot of good things about the blue corn, but I didn't know. I didn't know till today. But if this is 60% blue corn, I need to go get me some blue corn whiskey and bourbon, because it's money. So overall, really great stuff. The cask strength has always been kind of like my go-to, but this one's 116 proof, where the Tanger is what, 106? Yeah, 106 proof. Night and day, like bottle look at, but still clean regardless. Liz in the chat says, cheers. Cheers. Welcome to the stream. Anyways, let me know. Has anybody had the Tanger that's watching or anything like that? Have you guys tasted what we're working with here? Obviously, it was super hard to get, but I do know it did get a good amount of places, because Total Wine near me in Jacksonville got it twice. Not a ton. I think they got like 8 the first time and like 4 the second time. Or maybe it was 4 and 4 and 8 altogether. I can't remember. But it was a while back. It was obviously last year. But it's money. Let me pour up a little bit of the red corn right next to it. See if I can see what it's working with. I actually haven't seen the blue. I've seen the red corn at a few different places. I have not seen the blue corn in store. So I've seen the bottled and bonds, a couple of them, like the rabbit one and the horse one. I don't know what those are. But I definitely want to get a couple more of the Still Austins to have a little shelf of them. Kind of put them next to the Redwood Empire shelf. They're definitely up there as far as one of my favorite distilleries for sure. Especially after getting a little taste of the Tanger. After been looking for it for so long, being able to see it 2 feet in front of me, not being able to buy it because Total Wine needs to get their shit together. I'm just saying, I'm still salty about that. Instead of getting that, I ended up getting the Woodford's Master Collection. The what proof is it? The 121.2 proof instead, which isn't a bad bottle either, but it's not what I went there for. Christian in the chat says, cheers, call me old fashioned. Missed you on the live stream last couple weeks. Glad to hear you're all good. I'm alive. Yeah, obviously, if anybody didn't know, obviously we're not talking about it too much. Legally, you're not allowed to. But yeah, we were in a car accident a couple weeks ago. Car got totaled, a couple broken ribs. I'm alive. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I had to take a couple weeks off, mainly just because like you can't. If you have some broken ribs, you can't really drink because then you start feeling too good, right? We learned our lesson. We were watching. I think we were watching hockey. I had a couple old fashions on like Easter or something. Got a little loosey goosey. Ribs started to hurt the next day pretty good. So, yeah, can't cope pain with liquor that well. So, but we're getting better. They still suck. Like, don't get me wrong, they're not great, but they're better. Yeah, the red cord's money too, but it's not. It's not the Tanger, for sure. I can pull out that red corn that's in there though. Like you can feel the different levels of it. Just good stuff overall. But boys, let me know, what are you sipping on? Or are we going, is it like dry? Is it dry May? You never know. You never know. We did try a couple other things in the last stream. Obviously, we broke into the Challenger. We broke into another one of the Woodford's Reserve Master Collections. We broke into the toasted one. Toast one's money. A lot sweeter than I thought it was going to be, but it's money. So we broke into that one as well, and then we even broke into Southern Star, right? Southern Star, yeah, out of Statesville, North Carolina. Their Ballin' and Bond version of their wheated straight bourbon whiskey. Kind of reminded me of a blend of Heaven Hill and Ben Holiday, the soft red wheat. This was like I felt like a mixture of those two, taste wise. Price wise, a little bit pricier than those, but to each his own. North Carolina was always like a fun place to visit, so I just kind of had to find something. So when I found it, I was like, I can't pass it up. Bring it home, have it on the shelf. So we had that, and then we went over like tomorrow or sometime soon. We're gonna break out and go over the mint julep, Old Forester mint julep cocktail. I have another like cocktail video coming with like some pre-mixed stuff, and then we also had the Penelope peach old fashioned. I didn't drink that in the last stream. It's good. This is not what I thought it would be though. I'm not going to talk too much on it because I'm not going to drink this tonight, but it's not bad. It's cheap, so kind of take that in consideration. But it's more maple than it is peach, so to each his own. So, ooh. But anyways, let me know what we're sipping on. Yeah, taking a couple weeks off was kind of brutal though, right? I felt like I had more time to do stuff, but I also had like no time to do stuff. So now we're on the hunt for another car. But also like my tolerance went to absolute dog shit because I only drank once through that whole break, and of course we wrecked the car on a Friday. So Alex says, "Oh dang, what's up, my guy?" Alex, welcome to the stream, baby. Happy Friday. You guys like to kind of pop into the stream kind of later than normal because obviously this is the second one for today. So maybe we need to move the live stream back a little bit. Kristen says I'm on my second pour, so I'm still lower proof sipping on some basic 1792 small batch. I'm not a big fan of the 1792, but I get what you mean. I started that night off a little. Fuck. I hit that corner right on my knee. A little slower than normal, right? Normally I have to jump in with like some kind of a review on a bigger one, but the toasted bourbon from Woodford's is only 90.4. Southern Star Distilling, the Paragon, is only 100 proof because it's bottom bond. So this is what we started the night off with. Went into this one, little Masters collection. Or I'm sorry, Distillery Series, not Master Collection. I may break into that Chocolate Whisper Redux here in a little bit. That one's high proof, but I had to explain to somebody that it was like only 0.6 points away from being considered hazardous material, being at 140 proof. Alex says Cali time is a couple of hours apart. Yeah, it's 3 hours. 3 hours apart, which means like what? Right now it's 7. Yeah, 7 o'clock your time, which means I go live at like 6 o'clock your time normally. Crazy. Let's pour up a little bit more of this toasted, and then we'll kind of move into a couple of the other Woodford ones. Who's watching the Kentucky Derby tomorrow, and who has a horse? Who are we betting on, boys? Somebody call IROC and let them know that I need a horse that needs to be picked. Let's move that right here. Let's get this off. Let's bring the Woodford. Has anybody watched that Woodford's video I did on these two bottles, the Chocolate Whisper Redux and the blended malt sherry cask finish? Did you guys watch that? They were pretty good bottles overall. I do think, even against the Woodford's Double Oak that I love so much, like this Chocolate Whisper Redux, just yeah, the Chocolate Whisper Redux has so much more complexity that it's just better. Christian says, I don't get that drying effect on the 1792. It's more like wood sugars fun dip for me. You watching the fights tonight? What fights are on? Figueiredo's fighting. Bo Nickal's fighting too? Oh wait, this is tomorrow. What are we talking about? Which fight's on tonight? UFC? I've been deep in the NHL playoffs lately, as far as what I've been watching. Steven says, will you be trimming your finely manicured beard for the warmer months? I will be. Yeah, I've been like a day late and $1 short on getting a haircut. I had my haircut scheduled the day after the car accident. I just couldn't sit in the barber seat with the ribs, so that's why my hair is longer than normal. But yes, my beard's gonna come down a couple inches. Like if my wife was gonna ask, I'd say probably gonna come down about good 8 inches. Tomorrow, maybe. I believe it's free, right? No way that's a payable card. Yeah, it's just fight night. So they're at 10 o'clock, which that could be a fun stream. I could pop on, do like a almost like a watch party and hang out, make some cocktails or something. So yeah, definitely a good possibility. Unless the Panthers game's on, then we watch the Panther game. Last year, I live streamed almost the entire Panthers playoffs. I felt like that brought some good luck. I may have to run that back. But the wife's a lot more into it this year, so she's having fun watching it with me. So, oh, I was looking up to see if they're playing. Ryan Garcia's fighting tonight. To be honest, I don't really care too much about boxing. Like, I like it, but I don't care for Ryan Garcia too much. No, they still haven't updated the hockey schedule. I know we're playing the Maple Leafs, so Liz says that beard should go nowhere. You didn't get the joke, babe. It's a little too long though. It needs to be shapened. You know what I mean? Like there's some hairs that go a little too far. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 90.4 proof, 2024 bottling date, toasted. Yeah, this one's money. Definitely a solid toasted bourbon. You know what's crazy? Like Woodford's releases these distillery releases in these 375 milliliter bottles, small runs, sends them out. They get sold instantly. You know, instead of just doing what everybody else does and release a run of toasted barrels like nationwide, why wouldn't they do that? That I don't get that part. Like, why wouldn't you want more versions of what you already have just out there? Not like to where they just sit. Don't make that much. But you can still do limited runs and make them go nationwide, and that way more people can try it. And because toasted bourbons are kind of in, right? That's last year especially they're humming. So if this is a 2024, why didn't you do that? I understand like that sounds like you're after the money, but also like get it in people's hands. I think it might have something to do with the proof, but because they're not going to be able to compete on the proof end if they're just going to keep pumping out 90.4. Like this one, the 139.4 proof, this one obviously sold out already at the distillery. And you can see the color difference between the two here. What's this one? This is a blended sherry malt finish in the bag, so the color is just ridiculously darker. So I don't know. I always want to get in the minds of these distilleries and be like, why are we doing certain things? Like, tell me the reason so I can wrap my head around it. Because I'd love to have like a bigger bottle of the toasted bourbon, right? Obviously, it's going to cost a little bit more. I don't want to spend $200 on it, kind of like the double oak, but maybe that's why they're not, right? They released a double oak in that 700 milliliter, started charging people $200 for it, which is good. I don't know about 200 good, but it's really good. So maybe that's the issue. They can't without charging a bunch. If other people can do it, a big distillery like that can. Anyways, so let's yeah, as far as the toasted go, I'm gonna finish this pour. We'll probably put that bottle away so we can savor it a little bit. But it's sweet. It's got all the characteristics that you want as far as the toasted go. Graham cracker, a little cherry as well. Maybe a little. It felt like cherry coke, but maybe I'm crazy. But it still has that toast aspect to it. Like you feel like you're at a campfire making s'mores, but not getting punched in the face by the smoke. So solid bottle there. Let's get a little pour of the chocolate Whisper Redux. Let's get New Glen. Mm-hmm. Guys, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the stream. Happy Friday. Drop down below what you're sipping on. If you haven't, subscribe. What are we doing? Subscribe to the channel, like, do all that kind of stuff. Let's dive into Woodford's distillery release, which is Chocolate Whisper Redux. Obviously, their highest proof they've ever released, coming in at 139.4 proof. This one's hot, bro. It's a hot drinker. but not in a bad way, right? It has all the flavors that you want, but that proof can. Like what's too much, you know? Obviously, like for like a one pour thing, like the higher the better, right? It makes you a little unique, but damn, it's up there. North Florida says I saw a nice store pick Maker's Mark called the Chocolate Pour. I tried a pour and gonna pick up one next paycheck. Okay. What, like, do you know much about it? Was it like high proof, low proof? Was it super expensive? Like, what are we talking here? I've heard of it. I don't know if that's just like a name that somebody said that I'm talking about. Like, were they just calling it like a chocolate pour, or was that like kind of the name of the release? You know, I can't remember. I would have seen this thing like almost a year ago. Ethanol on the nose, boys. That one, like, you know, like when you take a little sip of something high proof, normally like, all right, cool. This one, you're like, ooh, buckle up. Because it hits you. It hits your entire palate. I will say, for the Chocolate Whisper Redux one, it coats it fairly well. It's got a lot of viscosity, a lot of flavors hit, you know, all at once. So it kind of like shocks your palate. North Florida said 111 proof, $79.99. That's a solid price for a store pick in general. Proof's not bad either. I wonder where the chocolate's coming from. I wonder if it's like a lot of malted barley or if it's just something to it. It's pretty cool though. I'm not the biggest fan of makers in general. Like, I like makers, don't get me wrong. I've not found anything wrong with them. They just never have like wowed me. So, but I haven't bought any of their like more harder to get ones, special editions or anything like that. I've just had like normal makers. I've had the generations of proof, and I've had a couple random pours in general of them. So a lot of people love makers. So if that's a good bottle, maybe we swing by, pick one up one day. One of my favorite notes in bourbon in general, though, is a nice, not like over the top. Like, I don't want it to taste like a flavored bourbon by any means, but like a chocolate note, nice and subtle, not too sweet. That's a solid tasting note to me. Like, it just pairs well with bourbon. I also typically like the pours that I drink to be on the sweeter side, not like straight up sugar, but not like no sweetness. The floor says the store is literally a 5-minute walk from my office, so I like to support them. It's where I got my Woodford's Double Oak store pick. It's money. That's pretty cool. I wish I had a liquor store in walking distance, 5 minutes in anywhere I was at. So I always have to drive like kind of out of the way to go to any of the good ones. There's one next to the house that's just a museum that I won't go to anymore. I mean, that's good though, right? Like, if you find a store that you like their store picks at, it's always like a good to go support them anyway. Because if you like their store picks, it means they're going to go pick something else that you're going to like and be able to buy that anyway. It's all about the price too. Like, if they're not charging outrageous sky high prices for their store picks, then you know you're getting a solid product every time regardless. So they make money, you get a great bottle, kind of a win-win there. That, the more relationships you build there anyway, the more better chance you got to dip into their allocated stuff when that time comes. So there's a couple stores that I kind of frequent in general, besides like the Total Wine and stuff like that. There's one store they go to that I just build straight up points at. I've gotten a decent return on the points, I'd say. And their store picks are great. Shores Liquor is another one too. They just always have like something to pick up. You never go in there and go, they had nothing. You know, they have a pretty wide selection. They don't typically mark up too high either. Total Wine's the only place I go to for like just the low end stuff and the occasional random bottle they get, and like cocktail stuff for sure from Total Wine. Like the wife wanted like some kind of margarita stuff. I just ordered it on Total Wine, had it delivered to the house. So that one's a little too hot. I think it's good, but like that's a one pour kind of thing and kind of sit back. If you drink that the whole night, you're gonna be on fire. What else did we pick up recently that we can break into? I feel like I've organized and reorganized these shelves so many times that I've kind of lost track. What was I thinking? Oh, the Jack Daniels. That's another higher proof one, but I feel like I want to dabble into that a little bit. Let's put these Glens over here. So when I bought this Jack, this one was a this is the single barrel proof rye, 134.5 proof. So this one's obviously another high proof. I bought this one simply because of proof, mainly because I had the whiskey version, right? The bourbon, and well, I don't think it's bourbon actually. I think it's just whiskey. And it was really good, but I also thought I really liked it mainly because it was around that 133.3 proof on the proof scale, right? So I kind of waited out and got this, but I bought this at the same time I got the the 1924 Old Foresters. That bottom camera just died. But so I kind of like drank the Jack that first night, and I really haven't touched it much since, because every time I kind of go back to it, I just keep gravitating towards that Old Foresters. That Old Foresters is money, by the way, but what happened? I know, I still haven't bought the cords. My bad. What's happening? Why is it not working? There we go. North Florida says, need to grab one of them Jack Daniel's single barrel proof ryes. We grabbed the Redwood rye since I haven't had that yet, but really wanted that Jack. The Redwood Empire that you grabbed, the Emerald Giant, is probably, and not that it's bad, like it's good, it's okay. It's probably one of my least favorites of the Redwood lineup. I feel like I may like the Emerald Giant cast strength better, but I just didn't want to buy that one. Any of the ryes for Redwood Empire is going to be one of two, just for future reference. It would be this one. This one's by far, it's my favorite rye I even own. It's better than the Jack too. The Rocket Top Bottled and Bond. First off, looks sick, label's clean, but 100 proof, obviously a 4-year age. That is batch 4, the one that I currently own. But it's money. It's 1 in like 2 blinds already, against almost all the ryes that I own. One day we'll go over all the ryes, but it beat out the New Rift 8-year. It beat out the Wild Turkey Rare Breed rye, Bullet 12 rye. It beat out the Emerald Giant, obviously. So we'll do an updated one eventually, because the only one that's not been in a blind against it is the Heaven Hill Grain Glass, which also is another really great rye. So Yeah, I was pumped to get this bottle. I just kind of been neglecting it a little bit. Yeah, that cork needed a little soaking for sure. It's a good time to grab that bottle. He's like, I want to try the Devil's Tower, the high rye bourbon. Yeah, that one's also really great. That one's pushing to be like one of my favorite ones too. Like the Grizzly Beast is still up there. The Scream Titan's still up there too. The Pipe Dream 101's really the number one right now. But the Devil Tower High Rye is like so unique as far as like a high rye bourbon goes. IROC said, "What up, team?" IROC, welcome to the stream. Welcome back. IROC, I know you're dialed in. I need a horse to bet on tomorrow. Who we betting on for horses on the Kentucky Derby? Liz says, "Look who decided to show up." Is Tux? Tux hasn't showed up yet, but apparently it might be his birthday. So I don't know if he was joking or not. So everybody drop a happy birthday Tux in there just in case. IROC only shows up whenever he thinks we're drinking. He says was watching my bets. Huh. That didn't answer my question. You got a horse for me to bet on, IROC, or is there a horse named Lucky? Right? Is there a name that would be pretty fun. This chair is kicking my ass. Yeah, this Jack is really good. That's what's I mean, this first world problems here that we're complaining about here now, but that's the one issue about having a lot of bourbon. So you can't show love to every single bottle that often. I mean, you could, but like that's a mission in itself. Um, like I used to drink Redwood all the time on the channel. I haven't touched those bottles in a minute. Liz said, "Why'd you turn the bottle upside down?" The bottles are corks, so whenever whenever you don't touch a bottle for a while, the cork potentially dry out, and to prevent that, to be able to keep the liquor inside good and fresh, turn the bottle upside down. It's going to moisten the cork, which is going to keep the seal more intact. You don't like, for example, if you broke your cork, you can't keep it sealed, and then the liquor turns to shit pretty quick. So I can't touch the bottles that often, so I just flip them upside down every once in a while. Re-soak the cork. It keeps a better seal, and then that way my bourbon and whiskey stays fresh. Iraq says, so with the grain, horse to bet, I go Sandman. Great name for a horse. Against the grain, Burnham, Square, or Tistastic. I don't know. I feel like Tistastic is like what a hell of a name to yell once you win. That might be the move. But yeah, typically if there's a bottle that we don't touch for a month, couple months, usually I want to try and flip them all once per month just to like stay on top of it, but sometimes it doesn't happen. So every 2 months for sure. Like you want to tip them over. It doesn't have to be long. It just has to be enough to like get it into the cork. Liz says we need to get Fireball if it's Tux's birthday. I don't care whose birthday it is. I'm not drinking Fireball. I'd drink Penelope for him. That's for sure. But he's not here anyway. So. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are on the road to 2,500. When we get to 2,500, if we do it tonight, it will be the next stream that we do. That we'll do like a giveaway of like a couple samples, things like that. And we are, I said it wrong earlier, actually. I thought we were 10 away. We're about 17 away. Tater Dom says, LOL, it is really like Tux's or Cat's B-Day. I need to find my Crown Blackberry then. He's not here. I don't know if it really is. He said it in the Discord, so probably. But you never know. Ark says, you want to go be Knuckin' Fucks? Go publisher. I really think it's going to be him, which means get as far away as possible with my bet track record. Publisher, we ride at dawn. You know what I mean? Is he like an extreme underdog? Christian says, why do you think more distilleries use synthetic corks? Or why do you think more distilleries don't use synthetic corks? I think it's just kind of the tradition. Even me personally, like how annoying it is to turn the bottle upside down. I still love a normal cork. There's just something about it, like experience-wise. I don't know why. There's nothing against it. Like even this Tanger has a synthetic cork. It probably is smarter to use them, but I bet you it costs more money. So it's probably a money thing. I also think it's a traditional thing or a tradition thing. I don't know. I like normal corks. But also like the big complaint has always been like normal corks break. I've never had a normal cork break. Jet McDonald just subscribed. Jet, welcome to the family. What a name too, Jet. That's a hell of a name. Tater Don says, hope you get there soon. Call me old fashioned. I haven't received my 107 from. What? Oh yeah, I emailed you about that though. It said delivered. I don't know what happened from there. No, just 12 out of 1. I mean, it's a good enough odds for me. Ira. Chris says cork pop off of a natural cork though. That's what I mean. Like you can't fake that. It's just money. Kyle says it's late. Kyle, you're late. You're late. HR will see you soon. Your write-up's coming. Be on time, or I don't know what to tell you. IROC says, ain't no pop like a GD OGD 114 cork pop. To be honest, like you're not wrong. That cork pop on the old Granddad when we first opened it was monstrous. Go back and watch that stream. That thing was like a firecracker popping off. We've had some good cork pops. No, I don't think we've had one that's been like that loud before. The rye is money, but I like rye, but I'd still prefer like just normal bourbon, you know? like a lot of people have been slowly been like, okay, rye's now okay. And even me, like I was not a big rye fan, kind of got into it. No delivery, unfortunately. I mean, I'm gonna send him another email, but I don't know. It's been a while now. I may have to just order you from somewhere else. Kyle says, I'm tired, y'all. I recently got a different job. I make so tired, exhausted. Hope y'all had a good night. Pour one for me. Kyle, we're going to pour up two for you. How about that? Congrats on the new job. A little switch. Hopefully you like it, even though you're tired. You know, and I get that. You know, I've been switching jobs, doing all types of shit lately, so I get it. I'm just busting balls. You're not really getting rode up. I don't have an HR, so Tux would be HR, but I think he took the day off. Um, yeah, but what I was saying is like rye is great. For a while, I wouldn't even touch rye whiskey. I didn't care for it at all. I've gotten to a point where I like. There's definitely some ryes that I like, but there's no changing my mind that I personally like the sweeter bourbons more often. You know, I like the tangerine. This one is just all around good. The only issue that I still I'm running into is if you put this on the shelf, you know what I mean? Like it's gonna block the light so it doesn't see. So you're not really seeing the bottle, you're just seeing the box. Or I open it up and you see the artwork, but then I'm blocking more lights. You know what I mean? But if I put it in here, you can't see nothing. So it's just a preference, I guess, or who knows? I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this bottle. Anyway, so if anybody has any ideas, let me know. Maybe I get like some really cheap small LEDs to put like in the bottom of this. That would be kind of sick. I feel like that's way overkill though. North Florida said I had a problem putting the Master's Keep box on my shelf. I almost need a shelf for boxes. Yeah, to be honest, like if you under here, it's typically where I keep all the boxes. You know, what is it? So you guys are gonna relate to this pretty well. What is it with guys and keeping the boxes of everything? You know what I mean? Like I'm never gonna use that caribou box. I don't even care for the caribou, but I won't throw the box away for some reason. I'm like, but you never know. You know what I mean? Like we keep all the boxes. We'll keep the iPhone boxes, the shoe boxes. I got boxes just for boxes. You know what I mean? So I have all these boxes underneath. I still have the Hibiki box under here from like well over a year ago. You know, I have a Crown Royal. What is it? 18 year that I have. I think it's a Crown Royal 18 year. I've had that box for before longer than the channel, and it's just sitting under there. You know, like for what? I don't know. I'm never going to use it. Christian said, in case you have to return that thing, I've drank these things. Like I'd like another caribou. I wish I could return that, but once you open it, you can't return it. Like I keep the boxes even after I open the whiskey. Like what am I gonna do with it? I don't know. At first, I was like, maybe I'll need it for a video one day, but I don't. So honestly, I need to throw them all away, but I just don't. This one's a little bit different, right? So I would put this in a different category because this is actually like obviously custom artwork for this bottle. You know, it's obviously the bottle that's sitting at the end of the river here. It's really cool looking too. I love all the Still Austin art. It's one of the reasons why I like their brand so much. They have local artists come in and do the artwork. So So it could be a recall, bro. Yeah, fuck, right? Now you're thinking. Um, what the hell's happening? There we go. So this one's a little bit different. The box is obviously more of a display style thing. But I think it takes away from not being able to see the bottle. The bottle is also super sick. So I don't know. The choices I have to make. Raphael says, guess who's back? Back again. He's like, I do this every time. You do. It's kind of catchy though, so I'm here for it. Raph, welcome back to the stream. Happy Friday. Drop a like on the stream if you haven't already. Somebody disliked the stream, so I appreciate that. Appreciate the honesty. But if you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, drop a like, subscribe. We are on the road to 25 hundo. Who? What should we pour up next? You guys let me know. My ribs are killing me, boys. I can probably go for like another pour, maybe two at best, and then we can call it a day. But what you guys decide? What should we pour up next? Obviously, tonight I've had the Tanager from Still Austin. I've had a little bit of the Red Corn from Still Austin as well. We've had some Southern Star Paragon from Southern Distilling out of North Carolina. We've had some Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof Rye. We had the Woodford's Reserve Distillery Series Toasted Bourbon. I think that was it. Right? So, we got some options. North Florida says, how's that cask strength 13th colony? I don't have that, but I want that. They are releasing this month. I'll be on that ass. I hear great things about it. It was at the drop that me and you went to. So yeah, I hear great things about it. All the 13th colonies, like limited releases, are spectacular. So Raph said, dude, I just got a 138.5 Jack Barrel Proof Rye from a Coy Hill barrel. Okay, show off. Kidding. No, congrats, bro. That's a sick bottle then. Even without the Coy Hill part, the 138 is super hard to get proof in general. So that's already a fine. I just drank that's what I was just sipping on is the Jack, and mine's 134.5 proof. This is the highest one I've ever even seen. So that's why I picked it up. But 138.5, I'm sure it's incredible. I'll trade. I'll trade you. No, this one's actually really good. This is Barrel House 1-07. This is the one I have. So, let me know. North Florida's just rubbing it in my face. He says, I think I'll pour my 13th colony. This 113 is money. I hear that one's also really great too. Great proof point. It also is like, a lot of people expected it to be more of a like maple finish, and it's not. It's more of maple hints, not like a overly sweet, syrupy type of thing. So I haven't had it, so I can't speak on it too much, but I like that part of it where it may have some hints of maple, but it's not maple syrup. Because I have the Sap Squatch, which is all syrup, all maple, right? But it's 118 proof, so it has its pros and cons to it, right? From Short Barrel. This is also really good, but like you got to know what you're walking into as far as the sweet. Let's pour this up. I'm down for that. I'm down for that. this cork. I'm not going to pour like a bunch. I'm just going to pour like a sip. A little taste. Right? We're not doing a drink-a-thon. We're doing a tasting because it's classy. You know what I mean? Raph says they have one more at the store and they were sitting there for some time and I doubt it's gone. Maybe a tradesy? Why would it be sitting if it's Coy Hill though? You know what I mean? Like typically if somebody's advertising that it's Coy Hill, that thing's not going to sit more than 5 minutes. So that's kind of strange. What's the price on it? Is it like super expensive or something? Or this, like, if maple syrup really does get tariffed where we can't buy it, I'm just gonna start pouring this on my waffles. So it's good, right? You got to know you're drinking maple syrup though. It's literally a single barrel series from Short Barrel Saps Watch, straight bourbon whiskey finished in maple syrup barrels and toasted barrels. So that's where it's like, if it was this sweet without the proof and this sweet without that little extra like toast to it, it probably wouldn't be that good, in my opinion, because it is super sweet. So, but if you're a maple syrup fan, like that, this one is one of the better ones I've had. I like this better than I like the Havana, the Penelope Havana. That one's sweet, but it doesn't have the proof. So I feel like the proof kind of carries a lot of these sweeter ones. Same thing with the Rio. The Rio's lower proof and it's honey finish. It has Amberana, so it has like a little bit more to it. But even the Short Barrel Bee's Knees, higher proof, kind of cuts through some of that sweetness a little bit, which makes it a lot more enjoyable pour for me. I feel like the proof is almost like a pairing to that sweetness. If it's all sweet, like I don't want to drink that. Raph says it's not advertised as Coy Hill, but the barrel house is where Coy Hill's from. It's like if you know, you know. Also, it's more of a poor part of town, so for $60, nobody really buys them. You need to just go buy the other one then. Just go buy you a backup. Because the proof alone for $60, like that's ridiculous. Phil says, how long do you keep bottles once you open them? I always wondered how long you can keep after taking a taste. As long as I possibly can. I have some bottles in here well over a year. Phil, the only thing that I can say is if they're real corks, just tip them upside down. Make sure the cork stays like wet or moist, whatever you want to word it. And it will make it last a lot longer because the seal, as long as it stays sealed, the liquor inside will stay good unless it's like towards the bottom. The more air in the bottle, the faster it goes away and oxidizes and turns to shit. And it's not even like shit. It's still drinkable. It's just not as great as the first pour. So I actually do have a video that I'm like testing out a different version of how to keep your bottles fresher. I don't want to talk about it until I'm 100% sure it works. But stay tuned for that because I've not seen anybody talk about this yet. So stay tuned for that. Jet McDonald says, Watershed has a cast strength finished maple syrup, and it is the perfect subtle finish of maple syrup rather than drinking pure maple syrup. Sounds great. Yeah, so like that's what I want. I want like a maple finish because I really do like maple syrup. Right, I'm a big fan of like that profile. I don't want to feel like I'm drinking maple syrup. Like even this one is as good as I think it is. Eric says, get it wet. As great as I do think this one is, the downside is it is more of a dessert pour. You're one and done. You're not having multiple. You're definitely not doing massive pours because it's just so sweet. I'd much rather have like normal bourbon with like a little sprinkling of that maple in there. Just enough where you can taste it and you know it's there, but not enough where you're like trying to chase it with water, you know? So maybe we should check out that Watershed that Jet's over here referring to because that's Sounds good, in my opinion. Phil says, awesome. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, I've been testing out a couple techniques that argon gas for wine should work for whiskey bottles too. Tater's out here reading my mind. That's not what I was using, but I got something working. I checked the internet, and for me to not find it, and I'm like a crazy ex-girlfriend stalker when it comes to this stuff. Like, I'm searching. I haven't seen anybody do it, so I was like, either it's not possible, it doesn't work, or it's completely stupid. Or it works and nobody ever thought of it. So that's what we're going to determine in that video. That should release within like the next 2 weeks. Just because I'm going to see if it can hold what I'm thinking for like a couple weeks. And if it does, a couple weeks, it's going to make it a lot longer than that. North Florida says, I think you're going to dig the 113, not overly sweet. There's always a time and place for my sweet bourbons. I totally get. This is like next level sweet. So 13th Colony, I don't expect to go in to have like sweetness, you know? Hold on, please hold. Yeah, I mean, but as far as that 13th Colony, from the reviews that I've seen, what I've heard, I feel like it's going to fit well with what I'm hoping it's going to be. Plus, I like the 113 proof point, so I feel like that's right in that sweet spot too. So, yeah, even like this, I only had a small pour, and I'm already kind of like you can feel it coating your teeth. That's how you know it's like way too sweet. You know what I have really liked? Shouldn't be a shocker. The Peerless Double Oak. It took a while for me to get this one. Right, surprisingly enough. But it's been like, unfortunately, like people can give me shit. It's been like my go-to for old fashions. It's great proof point, great flavors, all the great stuff of Woodford's Double Oak, but also has a little bit more. So perfect. Northwest says, I do want to get a bottle of that Sapsquatch. If I see it for sure, the Bee's Knees is a good pour. If you like the Bee's Knees, you'll really like the Sapsquatch. That's easy to know. Like, and that goes for anybody. If you've had the Bee's Knees and you like that bottle, you like the proof, you like the sweetness, the Sapsquatch is going to be slightly less sweet. That's because the honey just feels a lot more thicker, right? It just feels a lot more sugary. Maple syrup's still sweet, don't get me wrong, but it's thinner, so it doesn't feel as sweet. But the proof's right there. It's about the same. So, yeah. Shores Liquor on Wells Road in Jacksonville have them. I'm not sure if they still have them, but that's where I got mine. But North Florida said, yeah, but one pour a night. One pour a night is like the most I'm doing of those. I couldn't really do more. I wouldn't want to do more. I feel like that's where you kind of like finish them off. Like one pour be done. But it's my stuff's blowing up right now. But yeah, so they're good bottles. I think they just gonna have more of a time and place type of thing to them. So you guys didn't send out recommendations, so we're gonna go ahead and finish up the night with a little Peerless Double Oak. Tuck says, thanks, EH. Tux, if you're that far back in the stream, bud, you got a long ways to go. Raph says, Have you had any of the Salvage and Cook or Savage and Cook barrel picks? I have not. I haven't had any of the Savage and Cook though. So I know, like, I believe either you or somebody else has recommended that to me before, but I haven't even seen them. So Tuck says I made it and I'm right on time. Who's gonna tell him? Who's gonna tell him? You know, I already said HR's been by looking for him. They put the write up on his desk. I can't control it. Should we all sing happy birthday to Tux or what? I'm kidding. It's not even his birthday. He said I meant Cooper and Cass. My bad. I haven't had that either, but I'm kind of blanking, so I don't remember. Tuck says no. I like to scroll back like a crazy ex. North Florida says, have you tried the chicken cock double oak? I have not, but I also have heard that it's not great. I want to try it, but it's an expensive bottle. Like, I believe it's like 65 to 75 bucks. And I have not heard one person be like, that's really good. Try that. I've almost bought it a couple times because it kind of sits everywhere. It's at Total Wine, ABCs. Like, it's kind of just out there. It's one of the more mass-produced ones for chicken cock, though, but I don't know. One day I'll get it, but maybe like I get it on sale one day or something. It's probably the only time I would buy it because I just haven't heard great things. IROC's drinking some birthday bourbon. Damn, okay. I said I was going to drink some Penelope for him. I don't know which one he wants me to drink, so. Well, Tux, if you want to pick the last pour of the night, you can pick any of the Penelopes, and that's what we'll end the stream on then. The Penelope pick. Obviously, you know what we have. We have the Rio, the Havana, the Wheated, the Toasted, the Barrel Strength, the Rosé Cast Finish, the Architect, and then the Valencia. I also have the Peach Old Fashioned, but I'm not going to make a whole Old Fashioned, so that's a different day. North Florida said the Bourbon Barn just got, bro, so North Florida, the Bourbon Barn, from a social media standpoint, just that's all I can gauge because I haven't been in there. They are one of like the fastest growing liquor stores to getting great bottles that I've seen. Not just like these super highly allocated bottles and the drops, not that. But like they got all the Redwood Empire stuff. I've been watching a couple of the things they've been posting, and I'm like, they get some bangers often, like very often. I wish I lived closer because that would, to be honest, probably be one of my go-to liquor stores. Because there's not one time that they post something and I'm not like, damn, I wish I could go get that. You know, I wish I lived right there so I could scoop them up the moment they post. But like being 2 hours, a couple hours away, like there's no way I can do that logically. Or I'd probably be completely dirt poor because of them. But they have some great momentum, is what I'm saying. So you definitely got lucky. They got some bourbon or the chicken cock stuff. I don't know if it's a single barrel. Maybe it's worth a pickup. If they just got it just to get it, like it kind of sits everywhere. So I wouldn't necessarily rush to grab that. He says he's going to pick up the Peerless of Bardstown first. The Peerless is definitely a pickup. If you see this one, this is 100% worth the money. The Bardstown just depends on which one, but I haven't really had one that I've disliked. They're just a little pricey comparatively. So, to each his own. Raph said the barrel strength. I said Tux picks, but I mean, if that's what he wants. IROC says Tux is going to go Architect. He's like, my bet is in. It's the one I have the least of. Tuck says, I finished off my 4th bottle of the Havana today. Okay, I see you. So now I'm going to drink Rio, but I don't know which one to pick for Call Me Old Fashioned. I mean, Tux, you know me pretty well, so you can kind of just pick whatever you're feeling. Northern says, I'm glad I'm getting a relationship with those guys at the Bourbon Barn. I try and grab some stuff from there first. Honestly, they'd be great people to build a relationship with, as far as being that store you go to often. Just because they seem like they want to grow the proper way. You know, they don't want to sell everything secondary. They want to do more picks, stuff like that. If I lived closer, I'd be in there all the time. Tuck says, I don't know how much high proof stuff Call Me Old Fashioned is drink tonight, so let's wind down with a little low proof. Let me pick the Rio for Call Me Old Fashioned. A little sweetness. He really has missed the whole stream, hasn't he? No, I did drink a couple high proof stuff. Tonight, just to kind of recap for everybody, we started off with the Southern Star Paragon, which is a North Carolina whiskey out of the Southern Distilling. That's Statesville, North Carolina. So I picked that up on my most recent trip up there. It's the wheated straight bourbon whiskey, bottled and bond. It's pretty good. Kind of remind me of Heaven Hill. Then we moved on. We opened up the distillery series of the Woodfords, which is another 90.4 proofer. I drank the toasted one, which actually was incredible comparatively. Then we broke into the Still Austin Tanager, which is 106 proof, high proof to some, moderate to others. Great pour. Super pumped on this bottle. Definitely in my top 3 right now, as far as favorite pours. But I'm gonna hold all of that for the full review. I'll break it down, full tasting notes where I can actually sit down and think about it. Then we broke into the red corn for Still Austin, another bottled and bond. I tried to keep it semi-moderate. We did a Jack Daniel's barrel proof, or Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye, and we broke into the Woodford's Chocolate Whisper Redux, which is that 139.4 proof, the high proof one. And then we just poured just a little bit of the Peerless. And I feel like I'm drinking a lot. I poured baby sips, guys. The Sap Squatch was 118 proof. So, Irock says, feel like Tux went against me on purpose. It's okay, Frank. Tux says, I'm sorry, I've been eating bacon all day. Nathan in the chat says, Tanger is fantastic pour. B2, gonna be beast based on their Instagram. B2 gonna be beast. I don't know what Nathan, help me understand what we're talking about here. Tanger is a fantastic pour. What is B2? What's B2 mean? Yeah. Tux, just so you know, we're going with let me go back to what he said. I already got the bets in. So we're going to either go with Sandman for the horses tomorrow, Burnham Square, or Tistastic. But Irock says he's going publisher because he likes to lose. So publisher it is. So he wanted to go a little Rio. Let's break down the Rio. He just wanted me to have a little sip with Rio with him. That's all. I'm down. Rio's not bad. It's also like a good way to kind of end things on like a little dessert style. I like the Rio. I just don't love the Rio. You know, it's good. I wish I would have had batch 1. Like, was it all hype or is it about the same? I don't know those answers. Delicious. Ooh. Nathan says, Nancy keeps showing hints about the batch 2 Tanger blend, and it looks like it could be amazing. You know what's funny? I literally just said, so Nathan, just in case you weren't on the first stream or not subscribed, so this is the second stream of the night. The first stream is where we actually did our first impressions of it. Obviously, this came out in 2024, super limited release, but released enough to where you can get it if you got it quick enough, right? Batch 2, I expect there to be more hype around it just because a lot of people were claiming that this bottle was one of their favorite pours of the year last year, if not the best pour of the year last year for some. Batch 2, oh my God, the hype is going to be crazy around it, which sucks. Like, I wish nobody knew about it because I really want one. So it's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be even better because Nancy's out here doing her thing. You know what I mean? Like what she normally does. Or they're going to say, hey, let's capitalize a little bit. Let's produce it in a little bit higher quantity and just full send it. And part of me wants both. I want it to be great, but I also want it to full send so it goes everywhere. But if there is a batch 2, 100%, there's no question that I will be buying that bottle if I can get my hands on it, just because of how great that this one is. Trav says, sup, bitches, daddy's home. Hey, Trav, welcome back, baby. What are you doing? You in the shower? If you're not in the shower, get the fuck out. What a weird way to enter, right? Northler says, the only horse I've ever picked was 50-1 and she won. I forget the name of the horse, but it was a great derby day. There we go. Trav's getting in the shower. All right, boys, he's calling in. I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, those are the best, right? Where you pick a horse, it wins. It's not even like about the winning. It's just the full ambiance experience of being able to win a bet on Derby Day. You know, it's just something about it. Y'all can say that Trav's weird for getting in the shower, popping in here. I'm just glad we're his shower thought. You know what I mean? It takes a different level to be the shower thought. Guys, if you haven't already, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 2,500. We're close. We're about 15 away. When we do get there, we'll do some kind of giveaway. I believe we've talked about samples. I'm not going to harp on it too much. I'm not trying to force anybody. Trav says, wouldn't be a proper Cult Me Old Fashioned stream if I wasn't getting in the shower. What we sipping? Trav, we've sipped everything. Everything. We've done some distillery series from Woodford's. We've done North Carolina whiskey. We've done some Peerless. We've done some Still Austin Tanager. I feel like, Trav, I may need to send you a little sample of this and get your thoughts on it because I can't get it open. What the fuck is happening? It's just incredible. It's a great pour. iRock says that would have been the Oaks. Then my 2 horses lost today, hoping for better results tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day. You can't win on the first day. I don't know what the schedule looks like tomorrow, or if I'll be able to sit the entire time. But I feel like we should go live again, do a little hangout stream or something. Nathan says the folks at Still Austin are in for the long haul. They keep increasing the age on all their releases, showing that they aren't cashing out. Excited for the next Blue Corn and Tanger. Nathan's out here reading my mind. I want the Blue Corn. I have not seen the Blue Corn in person, but I want it. The Tanger is made up of 3 different corns: the red corn, the white corn, and the blue corn. It's 60% blue corn. I didn't know that until now when I did my little research on it. I knew it was red, white, and blue. I just didn't realize it was 60%. I really like that, which also means that I probably would really like that blue corn. So I have the red corn. It's great. It's a really great pour. The blue corn, I imagine, is just as good, if not even a little bit better. So Yeah, I love Still Austin. They're one of my favorite distilleries right now. I love Still Austin, Redwood Empire, and New Riff. Those are like my three. Like, I can't wait to see what they come up with. The only issue that I have with New Rift is they're not really coming out with anything off the wall, right? They're coming out with just longer age, really great whiskey, really great price. But like where Still Austin's coming out with cigar blends and Redwood Empire's coming out with the Pipe Dream 101. New Riff's just kind of staying stagnant. I really like them. I just wish they would come out with something really off the wall. Trav says, I love some and I'll shower on stream. Trav, you say the word. We'll get you on, we'll get you on stream. Iraq says, got to do the Derby pour. Gonna crack my Larceny barrel proof tomorrow. Hell yeah. I don't have any Larceny. I do have another couple bottles that will crack open a different stream. I just didn't want to blow my load too early, on opening that many bottles tonight, along with I was dying to try the Still Austin, so that's mainly what I wanted to do. Nathan says Blue Corn is their best release by far. Most of the rare stock distillery only releases are Blue Corn focused. I haven't been able to get my hands on the rare stock or any of the other ones. Nathan, do you live in Still Austin? Or not? Do you live in Still Austin? Do you live in Austin, Texas? Still Austin Distillery is literally one of the reasons why I'll be up at night at 3 a.m. looking at houses on Zillow in Austin, Texas. So I just want all their stuff. What sucks is like some of their distillery releases, they're so limited that like they don't even hit secondary like that. Or if they do, they're astronomical, and that's not realistic. There's a bottle of their, whatever the Tiger one is. No, not even Tiger. It was their straight rye whiskey with the turkey on it or something. There was some kind of bird on it. It was going for like $600, and I go, I mean, I like y'all, but I'm not paying $600 for a bottle. Trav says, fuck, I'm behind. Accidentally paused it when you were talking about the Blue Corn. Tux, what the fuck did he just say? He says, I'm gonna shower on stream. Hey, Trav, you don't have to keep repeating yourself. I got you the first time. Got him. Nathan says, I live in Texas. Wish I could get all their stuff, but I do get a decent amount of them. See, I feel like the closer you are, the better chances you have. Plus, you get the distillery when you want. Yeah, I'm here in Florida. I get good stuff. Like I have their rye whiskey. I have the red corn. I have the cask strength. I still need to get the cask strength rye, but I could go up get it almost any time. And obviously, I got the Tanager, but I got that as a one-off thing. They have a couple of the bottled and bonds. Like I've seen the rabbit one, which I don't know what they are off the top of my head. The rabbit one and the horse picture one. I could get those semi-easy, but the Blue Corn has not been seen, and any of their distillery releases aren't hitting Florida. So, No Florida says, don't forget how close you are to 13th Colony and Short Barrel. You know what's crazy? I was right next to 13th Colony and Southern Spirits, which is a liquor store in South Carolina, on the day they did like this massive drop at Southern Spirits or whatever it's called. And 13th Colony also is releasing their cask strength at the distillery, I believe, on the same day. But I had a wedding and I couldn't do anything about it. Tux says McDonald's has chicken tenders again. I know, I've already had them. They're not great. They're not the selects like back in the day. They're like McCrispy tenders or some shit, and they're McAss. He says, but they're not the OG chicken selects. See, I'm ahead of you. I tried to tell you. They're not bad, but they're not, you know what I mean? Who remembers McDonald's having chicken wings? Those things slapped. Nathan, or Trav says, where at, Nathan? Trav's in Texas too. We got a bunch of people that are in Texas. If y'all could start looking for the Still Austin stuff for me, that'd be great. Instead of hoarding it for yourselves. Ooh, baby. Yeah, the one thing that sucks about this chair is I can't sit in it properly, so now my ribs are dying. Tom says, are they spicy? Tuxedo Cat? They're not spicy. It's dumb. Mick Cancer. Facts. Nation's in Dallas. My family lives in Tyler, so anytime I go to Texas, I go to Tyler. They do have a spicy sauce. Rock, you missed it. I did sneeze. Oh my god, I almost ended the stream. I pulled it back together pretty quick, but you scroll back far enough, you'll see it. I had to pull it together. It's nowhere near as bad. Don't let me exaggerate. It was nowhere near as bad as it was, but I could feel it. It sucks. But that first day, oh my god, I had like this like mini cold where I kept coughing the first couple days. I was in shambles. I don't know, Tux. I'm straight getting abused in here. Nathan said, thoughts on the next Parker Heritage coming out, a blended 4-grain essentially. Big risk, could be amazing release, or could be a miss. I mean, I feel like, I don't know. It's one of those ones where like I probably would try just to see if it's going to be a hit or a miss, but you never know. You know what I mean? So many things are coming out recently. Bro, it's the sneeze and the cough is the only thing that's gotten me. And it's only been better, but overall, it's just a fucking shitty experience. Raphael says, so we extending the stream, right? I mean, maybe one extra pour, but I'm not going to stay too long. It's not that I don't want to be live and hang out longer. I really just don't want to sit in this chair too much longer. So we'll do one more pour if somebody wants to pick one more. Who knows? By that pour, maybe we stop feeling the ribs a little bit. We'll feel it. If I'm still feeling it now, we're going to feel it all damn night. I haven't seen any. Nathan says, y'all have any of the buff turkeys? I haven't seen any. I hear they're here, but I haven't seen them. Heard RFK Jr.'s banning corn. I don't know. I doubt that's possible. North Florida says Russell's 15. Wouldn't be a bad option. IROC says Old Granddad 114. It's another good option too. Raf says, so we're funding a new chair, right? Raf, you may have missed it, but this is my same normal chair. I was in a car wreck. I broke my ribs. I'm fine. It's not a big deal. They just kind of annoy me. But if you want to buy me a new chair, you buy me a new chair, bud. I'll definitely take a new chair. Where is my old granddad? Oh, over here. Bandful Ottawa. Okay, guys. My old granddad cork is getting dry. Nathan says, speaking of Russell's 15, the next batch of Russell's 13 is going to have some leftover Russell's 15 older misfits in it. I'm excited. Should get those Russell's Reserve 13 batch 3 older taste in it. I'd be pumped for that. I've even without you saying that, I've been wanting a Russell's 13. You don't see them that often anymore. So if they're coming out with a new batch, I'm down for it. I heard they're going to come out with another Russell's 15 batch as well. So it's all speculation, no facts. So Norfolk says those 114 corks dry up fast. Yeah, but usually you kind of tear through the bottle quick enough so you don't have to worry about it. To be honest, I haven't really been in this room for more than like a couple minutes and more than a couple weeks. We were live. I shut down the room, left, came back in. I was gonna come back in that Friday. Then we didn't go live for over 2 weeks, so I didn't film any videos. I filmed one actually. I filmed that unboxing thing with Penelope. Just opening the box real quick. And then I realized how much of a pain in the ass because the place sent it with 18 billion bubble wraps on it. Tater Don says, I don't think there'll be a Russell's 15 this year, though, right? I heard there would be. But that's where it was all speculation. There was no like notice from Russell's being like, hey, we got you. Tuck says, sorry, I've had an entire bottle of Havana today. I'm a little loopy. Said, sorry, my above job didn't work out for you. Call me old fashioned. I'm not reading all that out loud. The Rio pick was perfect. We're just continuing just a little bit longer. Nathan says, nah, it's confirmed Russell's 13 B6 later summer release. Not the. No, I know for sure the Russell's 13 is releasing this year. Somebody has came out and said that. I was talking about the Russell's 15. Nathan said, if you want some buff turkey samples for the stream, let me know. I would. But I don't know how new you are, Nathan. We had one of the OGs send me in some samples. They tried to kill me. Technically. Not really. It's all a joke. Every time they sent me samples, I would get really sick. Like a bad cold, like I was getting COVID in a bottle. But maybe one day. I just haven't taken any samples from anybody because of that. Tux knows. North Florida says, I'm excited for the Wild Turkey 101 8-year becoming more available over the next couple years. I think that's a cool thing, right? Because you have the Wild Turkey 70th anniversary. It's an 8-year, right? So they're basically releasing the same thing, just a more normal style of it. So that one is really good. It's higher price, but the way the Wild Turkey 101's been going, it's been kind of going downhill. And I think it's because they're focusing on other things. So, you know what I mean? Like, if that becomes like the new Wild Turkey 101 of what it used to be, I'm down for that. Tug says, but he survived. I did. I survived. Bloodsport66 in the chat says, what's going on? Been a little while since I've seen you. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing better, for sure. I took a couple weeks off, took a little break, you know, other things going on, but overall, we're kicking, we're grinding, we're slowly getting back in the groove, and then we're gonna, I feel like I don't want to keep saying it because I feel like every time I say it, something else happens, but content's gonna be flowing out here soon. But every time I say that, something happens. Zano says, my boy fit drink that piss monster. I mean, fuck shit, if that's what you think. Here. Which monster are we talking about? The old granddad or the still Austin? Theodom says, more Wild Turkey 8-year in the States this year. They're going to discontinue the Wild Turkey 12s in Japan and Korea. Trav says, like and subscribe, boys. Appreciate it, Trav. As always, guys, if you haven't already, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. We are on the road to 25 hundo. Bloodsport says, good deal, brother. Absolutely. Appreciate it. Thanks for checking in on me. We're surviving. Yeah, we got some stuff flowing. Our packages are finally arrived in the mail. That's how we got the Still Austin Tanager. So Tux, I'm not gonna read it. I don't care how many times you put it in there. But anyways, Dom says best value bourbon. Depends on what you say for value. My go-to pickup anywhere, best bang for your buck style would be one of two. It depends on budget, right? You could honestly, this old granddad's one of the best budget bottles. You can dabble depending on your palate between this and the Benchmark Full Proof. But if you want just a little bit more, then the Woodford's Double Oak has been like one of my favorites for like the longest time. So, Dom, that's what I would go for. That Woodford's Double Oak you can find almost at every store. Trav says, "Show me that Still Austin you got." It's right here, bro. It's been in the box on screen the entire time. So, the cigar blend, first edition from Still Austin. A lot of people they get a cigar blend and they think, hey, it's gonna feel like you're drinking a cigar. It's not. It's actually like a fruit basket blended in. It has a little hints of tobacco though. It definitely has a little hint of what I usually call manly vibes, which is tobacco and leather, stuff like that. But it's all fruit: cherry, strawberry, blackberry, orange. It's got all types of shit going on. It's super complex, which is like why I like it so much. So Dom says, need to try those. I'll pick up the Old Granddad next time. Old Granddad is like 20 to 25 bucks depending on where you live, but great budget bottle. Proof great, makes good old fashioned. So that's what I'm drinking on right now. Oh, my bad. I forgot like how like the thing does that. Um, here, this bottle is one of the coolest made bottles in my opinion. You obviously have the box, right? It has a little magnet. I need a magnet, so I keep saying Still Austin needs to send me that magnet, just like standalone. I don't want to take it off. But then you have here. Let me duck. You have the Still Austin bottle on the neck. It's got like this wood kind of grained feeling to it, like the rings on an oak tree. You have the cap or the cork has the name kind of embossed in it, as well as has a little egg nest on top. You got the back that has the gold gold writing on it, and of course the front. So I'm gonna obviously make like a full review video on that in the future. So what's MSRP on the Tanager? I think it was like 150, 175 is MSRP. So I could be wrong. Carson in the chat says all the whiskey tastes like shit the first few times. Once you start taking the straight bourbon from your father-in-law, that you learned to like it and start craving it. Carson has a weird take on it, but you know, everybody's palate's different. If you don't like it now, if you drink enough, you will eventually build a taste for it. Professor says, "Did you get that bottle from Shelton yet?" I have not. Professor, you kind of know. I was in that car accident, so I've just been, to be honest, kind of at the house. So, you know, I'm just now kind of getting back to work, getting in the groove of things. So I got to find a new car, but no, I planned on hitting them up tomorrow because, you know, Derby Day. So. Bro, I'm dying. Tux says, it looks like A. Car says, a what, Tux? What does it look like, Tux? Tux goes, I don't want to say now. He's like, it goes in a box, though. That's the greatest comment thread that I've seen in a minute. Trav says, Cody. Heart hints. Oh, North Florida? This is so like off track, boys. This isn't whiskey. I'm only buying an F-150. There's no other option. Not buying anything else. I don't care if you like Chevy. I don't care if you like Dodge, Tundras. I don't care. I've owned them all. The only ones that's ever ran properly for me is an F-150. I've been talking to dealers for the dealerships for the past like 2-3 days, and they just want to sell me like dumb shit. And I'm like, I'm so over it. So I will have a truck. Me driving that Blazer, for one, I'm not allowed to talk about this too much, so we can't go too in detail. It was safe enough to keep me protected. It wouldn't have kept everybody protected. It did its job. It is what it is. But if I was in a truck, that car that hit me wouldn't have done nothing. It wouldn't even have dented it. They were going fast, though. So, Professor says the bottle looks killer. You will like it. Okay. Don't hype it up too much, Cody. Do you have one too? Then you can drink it on stream with me, or no? Carson says Derby Day. Carson says, are we all wearing 14th century lace collars for Derby Day or no? Definitely. You call in, we put them all on then, but you got to come wearing it. He said, get one of those goofy Honda trucks. I used to have, no, I'm not getting a Honda truck. I used to have a Tundra, and it ran great. But they're just Tundras are more expensive because of how long they last, too. I don't want the Maverick. I don't want an electric car. I'm American. I'm kidding. I thought about it. Logistically, it wouldn't make sense for me. So, no. He's like, no, you don't? Okay. It's all right. I'll drink it. I'll let you know what I think. I gotta him up anyway, so. They're hard to come by. Ooh. I mean, I like all whiskey, so can't go wrong. What's funny is I picked up a North Carolina whiskey when I went up, and it was the first time I even found one. So I love some local stuff too. I don't know what you got me, but I imagine it's local. All right. Nathan says Derby Day, the start of a pool day. Juleps in the pool. Yeah, so I got this. Everybody's kind of giving me shit, mainly just IROC. I got the Old Forester Mint Julep Premix. It's only 60 proof, so I figure we're going to have to add a little bit of a bourbon to it, but you never know. So they only sell it around this time of the year, so I wanted to pick it up just so I had it. Carden says, I used to be an F-150 guy, but made the switch to Tacoma, and I'll never go back. So, I mean, to each his own. Tacomas, to me, are kind of like the Chevy Colorado, right? They're smaller, they're lighter. Not that they're not bad. They're great trucks. Right, don't get me wrong. To me, the reason why I like F-150s so much is they're bigger, they're wider. There's more space in it, so I feel more comfortable driving it. That I like the ecosystem of what Ford is. Ford is kind of like, to me, like Apple, right? The Apple ecosystem. My phone pairs to my computer attaches to my iPad. Everything's cohesive. Ford has an app. It attaches to my phone, which attaches to my computer. You know what I mean? When the wife wrecked my Raptor, I got an alert before she ever texted me that my airbags were going off. You know, I could check the gas from my phone. So there's some perks to Fords that most people don't even know. Not that other dealers don't or other brands don't have those, but it just fits well with me. So I don't know. I'm being bougie. I get it. I'm sure I could find a nice truck, a different brand if I really wanted to. We are gonna finish up with North Florida's suggestion, which is that Russell's 15. What a pairing on the stage, you know what I mean? Little Russell's 15, still Austin Tangier, and some Old Granddad 114. I'll line up. He says, impossible to kill, remarkably safe. You know, I mean, I'm not going to pull up the photos. I don't think I'm allowed to legally yet. If I showed you pictures of the Chevy or the videos of the Chevy that I had, it was a Blazer. Man, that lady ran a light, blew that car to pieces, broke the axle off, tire went down the road, and I walked out with a couple broken ribs and some bruising. You know what I mean? So like, the car flew 20 feet. You know, I went in the air, flew over the intersection, and went into a ditch. So for me to stay that safe, like the airbags did its job, the car did what it's supposed to do when in safety specs. But besides that, the Chevys to me are horrendous. So Travis says Ford sells to everyone. They have to 700 Fords to make a profit. That Ferrari does on one car sale. I mean, I'd love a Ferrari, but that's not in the budget. Carter says my buddy's had his Raptor stolen 3 different times. I wish somebody would. No, I had my Raptor for 3 days, and then the wife slammed it into a pole and totaled it. So, yeah, it was a pretty rough day or week, I'd say, because we got it for an incredible price back then. And she just wasn't ready for the power of a Raptor. Comparatively, she was in a Malibu, hopped in the Raptor, gave it a little test drive, and slammed it. You know, it just wasn't meant to be. She was safe, everybody was safe, so we can talk about it, make fun of it now. But North Florida says, love my 2006 Tundra. They call it a million-mile motor. I was a Chevy guy before. My Toyota has me now. I had a 2013 Tundra. It was the one that pulled the spaceship. I know that because that's how they sold me on it. And it ran great. It was incredible driving. it was just a little outdated. And then I started getting some pretty high miles on it. I think I had 200,000 when I traded it in. Not that it wouldn't last a longer time, but like I still had a cassette player in mine. You know what I mean? So I was like, I feel like I need the new electronics. It's just what I thought at the time. So I traded it in once it paid off. And then the wife wrecked the Raptor. So I like Ford's technology. It's kind of a good middle ground. Like Chevy's got some really nice technology, but they always have electronical issues. We're talking a lot about cars. You know, we're a bourbon channel, but my bad. But I love a good truck. So that's definitely what I'm going to be driving in. Tuck says, "Good night. I'm dancing." What do you mean dancing? Carson said, "Dude, I had a similar problem. Brand new 2004 BMW 330i with the M Sport, straight six manual. Is into owning it. Hit me. Left turn, totaled it. Damn. That sucks. That's always sucks, like when you buy a new car and then it gets wrecked in some way, shape, or form. You know? It's just like never a good, it's never fun to deal with a wrecked car in general. Because it's just like, you got to find another one. Your credit's already been dinged because you just bought one. So, Tux, happy birthday. Good night. We'll see you on the other side if you're actually leaving. So, we'll be leaving after this pour. I can't go much longer. I need to sit on a couch or something comfortable. I tried to set this room up to be more of like a lounge. It just didn't work. I didn't give it too much time either, so. But we're working on some different set ideas. Nathan says, favorite aspect of the Russell's 15 for me, the nose. None of the buff turkeys come close to the nose. Some of them get close on the palate. And the finish, but the Russell 15 consistently is better. I haven't had the buff turkeys, so I mean, I guess I couldn't really speak on it. But the one thing that I really love about this one, for the Russell's 15, on the nose it's like nice and sweet, right? You kind of get some basic notes, but overall, like you kind of get this like light floral fruit note, and like I'm like hell yeah. You kind of dive into the palate, and it's all like fruit roll up. It's like fruit punch, fruit roll up. Like I don't know how to describe it other than that. That's what triggers me, and I'm like, it's another one of those pours that are like really fruity, but has enough kind of giddy up as far as proof goes to make it a little spicy. The finish has some nice spice on it as well. Bro, I'm here for it. You know, it's honestly one of my favorite pours. And the other camera died. Hold on. We'll swap her. We were almost to the finish line on one battery. Almost to the finish line. North Florida says, happy birthday, Tux. We got to start pre-gaming for Derby Day. I mean, in 10 minutes, it's Derby Day, and we just got to keep it rolling. So, battery. I know, my bad, guys. Oh, Lordy. Trav says, fucking Canon. Carson says a Sony would never. You know what? Where's Tux when you need him? Just start banning you guys. No, I mean, I've been live almost 2 hours, and we did another hour before this on one battery. I feel like that's pretty fair. Now, this camera, the R5, that battery probably died before we even end this for the second time. So I gotta get the little plugins. I've just been lazy. It even says any barrel picks in the pipeline. I mean, I can't give all my secrets away. I've been trying to get with some people to start doing Trev says you heard that shit. If you're talking about the Sony guy, yeah, I know. I don't know what to tell him. I do. I have been talking to a few people to try and see how we can start doing barrel picks. I don't know enough. You know, I'm not here to like bullshit anybody. Like, I don't know exactly how to do that. So I'm trying to get a couple people kind of to be a part of it. So that way, like, one, I can learn how to do it, and two, we can do it properly. So that way, nobody gets screwed. Mainly me and my wallet. So, like, I'm not trying to like lose my ass on it. So, um, we're definitely pairing with some people to kind of go over that stuff. I'd say before the end of the year, we should have at least one. Trav, Super Chat 1999 says, "Yo, get the plugins." I know. I'll look them up right now, Trav. I got you. Best camera in the world's battery plug-in. Canons. It came up. No, I do need to get them. I honestly, even if I just got one just for the R5, it would make a massive difference because this camera lasts a long time. The R5 over here, that one dies quick. Don't know why. I mean, it shoots at insane rates, but it's not like it's shooting at a high rate right now. So, yeah. Well, these two bottles are not the same, just so everybody knows. But the Russell's 15 has a ton of like fruit roll up, sweetness aspect. So does like the Still Austin. It's like fruit salad just getting squeezed into juice into your Glen with a little tobacco. To be honest, I'm probably going to still pick the Russell's 15, and not to be a proof snob, but it's because of the proof, right? 106 for the Still Austin, 117.2. Yeah, 117.2 for the Russell's 15. That extra proof just makes the finish and everything a little bit more enjoyable to me because that's kind of right in that sweet spot. The 106 is great proof too, don't get me wrong, but 117 is a little bit better. Also, Still Austin's 5-year age, where the Russell's is 15-year age. Obviously, it's got a little bit more complexity on that end. Carson says, my cousin took a tour of the Eagle Rare facility, and they got a barrel. They got to pick a barrel. I think you just have to be on top of it whenever they offer it. R5 is a symbol. The computer. I mean, I'm not necessarily looking. Like, I could go to like New Rift right now, call them up, and say, "Hey, I want a barrel pick. Give me a half a barrel." I just don't know what to do with it from there. You know. FXCK says, "Hello, old fashioned." Fist bump. What's going on, bud? Welcome to the stream. Happy Friday. Almost happy Saturday. My time, at least. So, welcome to the stream. So, sorry, business call. I feel like when I put bottles like this on streams like this, I feel super pretentious. Not trying to be. I just having a couple pours that are great, you know. So, Carson says they bottled it for him, and they offered to let him take the barrel with him. He flew in though. He flew in. Yeah, I mean, if he flew in, yeah. The issue is like you can go to a distillery, you can buy a barrel, they're gonna bottle it, and they're gonna ship it somewhere. right? They can't, personally, I can't have a hypothetical case or pallet of bourbon bottles show up to my house. I can't ship them out. You know, I'm not a liquor store. So I got to have them sent to a third party that's able to ship and sell them to whoever wants to buy them. So that's where I kind of lose the connection. Because I can call up someone like Still Awesome, for example, or New Rift, or some of the brands that I really like to try and get, you know, a barrel or half a barrel or something, whatever I feel like we can sell in a sense. As far as the, obviously I don't want to buy a barrel if only one person would buy a bottle, you know. But I also don't want to do the same thing that everybody else is doing, you know. So I want to kind of look into these more of the brands that I personally like. I'd love to do a Redwood Empire pick, to be honest, or a Still Austin. New Rift, I know I could, because they do it all the time, and most of theirs right now are 6 years, which would be kind of cool. But I miss some. Nathan says unicorn pour for M20. Nathan, you're doing a lot of like codes. Either I'm really rusty or I have no idea what you're saying. What's M20? Unicorn pour for the year. I don't know. I feel like every time, like, there's a long story that goes with this. For the longest time, the Woodford's Double Oak was my unicorn. That's all I wanted. And I even made like a hype video because I was going to do this whole documentary on it. Because I also do like some film work. And the day I posted it was the day they also released that they're mass producing it. So it kind of killed it for me. So I always wanted a couple other things like the Tanager, because that's been one that I've just, it's kind of been out of grasp. So I'd say like the basic answer would be the Russell's Reserve 17 year, or not Russell's, I'm tripping. The Eagle Rare 17 year. I feel like that one would be hard enough to get that I'm not going to get it anytime soon, because I'm also not going to pay that extreme price. So one day I'll get it for semi MSRP and I'll be okay with it. And that'll be my new unicorn until I replace it. So I don't want to be like a Buffalo Trace, like Die Hard or anything like that. But that's just like the first thing that comes to mind. Boris says, yo, I don't know who this guy is, but he's super pretentious. You know, hey, Boris, I don't know who he is either. Trav says, yo, real quick, how much you pay for that Still Austin? Trav, get out of my pockets, bro. I did not pay $500 for sure. Just so everybody knows, I don't care about knowing where. So one thing that I've been looking at is unicorn auctions. This is not promoting. I'm not paid by them. They need to pay me for a proper promotion, just so you know. But I have used unicorn auctions a couple times recently to get a couple different bottles. Still Austin Tanager is one of them. But I've more of watched them check prices to see what things are selling for on the secondary market. I'm just watching the secondary market. But the one thing that I've noticed with the Still Austin Tanagers is the first time I looked at it, they had 20 of them for sale, right? People bid on them. These are like people like me or you selling the bottles on there. And then the next time there was like, oh, there's like 5. And I'm like, okay, cool, right? The next time there was like 4. The time I bought this one, there was only 2 available. To me, what that showed is the supply is going down for this batch 1, the first editions. And I was like, there's no way I don't get a first edition. So I'm buying it. I paid secondary, absolutely. What I paid was probably $300. I think it was like $320, like all in, which is well over. That's secondary. I could be wrong. It could be a little bit less. That's a safe answer. But the reason why I did was because I was like, I know because it's such a small release in general, there's only so many bottles. Even if secondary people are buying them to resell, eventually those are getting in the hands of people that are going to crack them open and open them just like me. So I was like, I'm not going to take the odds and wait months to hope the price drops. I was like, let's just pull the trigger, because the next thing that's going to happen is there's only going to be 10 available that are unopened, and then I have to pay extreme secondaries. So that's why. you go. Ooh, a Michter's 20. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that would be money too. Don't get me wrong. I'd love a Michter's 20. North Florida says either the 13th Colony Double or the Russell's 15 would be on my unicorn list. I'll give you samples of both North Florida. You just got to meet me. I'll give them all to you. Not the bottles, the samples. I feel like the only reason I haven't had them is because of you. So, fuck off says you should try some Japanese whiskey. Hella good, but very expensive. Cherry oak infused. I don't have any of those. The one I do have that's Japanese is Hibiki, and I actually really like the Hibiki. But I just have like their normal like $100 offering. And it's only 86 proof. Anything higher than this was. I like to try a lot of brands' entry bottles. I feel like this is what their entry bottle is, even though it's still like $100. I like it. It's light. It's floral. It's citrus. It's different than everything else on my shelf. I don't drink it. I mean, I've dented it, but I've had it for like a year. So the only issue with it is it's 86 proof. So you have to start the night with it or don't drink it at all. But I got it because that's what P.F. Chang's uses, the restaurant, uses for their Japanese old fashioned, their more expensive version. And that's where me and the wife go for date night. So I just kind of, if me and the wife go do anything, that's what that bottle's for. So I love Japanese whiskey. I just don't have a ton of it. Nathan says that Tanger is worth a secondary, just like the Booker's Reserve B1. 100%. After drinking it today, I'm 100% okay with paying the secondary on this. There's no question that I'm happy with that purchase. I've been happier if Total Wine sold it to me at MSRP like they should have, but that's a different story. Boris says price seems to be far more now. I did mine on a bidding system. It was like on eBay for bottles. I'll make a full video on it eventually. I'm just trying to get them to sponsor it before it because I don't feel like free advertising is. They should kiss my ass. I'll advertise the fuck out of it, but they pay other people, so I'm not doing it for free. But yes, technically, if you want to buy it straight up by click and pay now, you're paying like $500. So I thought I got a good deal. I feel like it's worth it. It's a hard to get bottle. It's limited, but it's also a super, super good pour. So. Trav says, just download the app, create an account. Imagine if only you had a code. Trav, wait for me, bro. Wait for me. I emailed them, so. Nathan says, most anticipated release this year? Nathan, I have no idea. To be honest, I haven't really paid attention to what's coming this year. Last year, I was all about like, hey, this is what's coming, this is what's coming. But typically, in the early months, in the early months, nothing really comes out that's too crazy. A lot of stuff typically releases more towards September, October, November, Christmas time is when a lot of like the hard to get allocated stuff starts releasing. So that's typically what I start looking towards. But top of my head, some of the Still Austin stuff, because I know they're re-releasing their rare stock. I focused the whole first half of the year on trying to put together a documentary for the Woodford's Double Double. They just kind of screwed me, so I would have said them. Jack 14 was cool, but I knew I wasn't going to get my hands on that. Trav says, send me a sample. I'll send you a sample, Trav. Trav, just I don't know if my email's public, but shoot me an email. I have you in Discord. I'll just message you in Discord. I'll send you some Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. Oh, Lordy. Let me do this real quick. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all age, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I think this is where we should end it because if I drink anymore, I'm going to be tired, for one. Two, my side's killing me. So I think it's fair for me to tap out, call it a night. We made it 3 hours in total. So Travis says, what should I look at on the unicorn auctions? I mean, kind of whatever brand you feel like you want. I don't look at the most expensive things. I've never even did that. I looked at like Woodford's and I kind of looked and see if they had anything. I looked at Still Austin. I looked to see if they had anything. You know, I looked at New Rift. I looked at things that I personally like and said, hey, is there anything that I want? Now, just so you know, bidding happens within the last hour. At an hour and a half, 90 minutes before auction closes, everybody gets notified and people actually start bidding then. So if you see something for 20 bucks right now, auctions close on Sundays, so it's crazy. So anyways, North Florida says, glad, had a good time, glad you're back. I'm glad to be back. It's fun to kind of get back in the groove. So we're only going to heal up even more, have some more fun. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't already, do all that jazz. And of course, as always, I will see you on the other side. Peace.